Hi girlies, it's Sadie. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is entirely different than what I had originally planned for you guys. I was filming and getting ready to edit my part 2 of all the outfits that I wear to work. I sit down to start editing and realize I only have Friday's outfit and my outro. I don't know what happened to the rest of the week, and unfortunately I had already deleted everything off of my camera because I thought the transfer to my laptop was seamless, because it always is. I've never ran into this issue before, and unfortunately I obviously can't edit that video because I don't have all the working pieces. So very unfortunate, and I guess I'll just have to try to refilm that at some point. But today's video I thought that we could, you know, be a little bit more relaxed and chatty and personal. I want to share 10 things that I learned in my 20s. Honestly, these are kind of the things that I wish people would have told me when I was navigating my 20s. I feel like your 20s are just a lot. You're figuring out who you are, what you want, relationships, money, life. It can be a lot. It's just a learning curve in every area, and I thought that it might be fun but also helpful to share some of the biggest things that I learned in my 20s with you guys, especially for the girlies that are still currently navigating their 20s. As we all know, I am 31 years old now, so I feel like I have some vital things that I could share with you guys, and it's just kind of nice to hear them. I know the 20s, they're not as fun as the movies or the TV shows make them out to be. It's actually a lot more difficult and not as fun, and honestly they say that your 30s are the new 20s and they're way more fun, way more enjoyable, and I have to say that I agree with that. You're way more established, you know a lot more, and you have a completely different mindset. So without further ado, grab a snack, grab a drink, and let's get right into it. We're not gonna waste any time. We're just gonna dive right into it. So number 1 on my list. Not everyone is meant to stay in your life. This one was honestly a hard one for me to accept, because I used to think that if you were close with someone, you were supposed to stay close forever. But your 20s really teach you that people come in to your life in different seasons, and sometimes those seasons end. And just because they end, it doesn't always necessarily mean that, you know, there was some big explosion or falling out that caused it. It's just two people going in two different directions that no longer align with each other, and that's okay. It's hard to accept and it might be difficult to let go, but just know that letting go doesn't make you a bad person. It just means you're making space for the life that you are growing into. Okay, so number 2 on my list. Protecting your peace is more important than being liked. And let me tell you, I used to care so much about what people thought, how they perceived me. It was not a fun time, to say the least. I am a huge over-explainer, and honestly that's something to this day that I'm still working on, but I've gotten a lot better. I'm learning to just keep it short and to the point. I don't really need to always give it an explanation for the reasons behind my choices and decisions. I was also a really big yes man. I would say yes when I wanted to say no, just because I wanted to avoid upsetting people or hurting their feelings. But there comes a point where you start to realize that constantly and always choosing other people before yourself, it really becomes exhausting. Protecting your peace might look like setting boundaries, saying no, and maybe distancing yourself, and people are not going to like that, especially when they know you as someone who is always going to say yes, always be there when they call. But your peace is worth way more than an approval, always. Which brings me to number 3. Your routine literally shapes your life. And honestly, this is another one that I'm still kind of working on, but we're getting a lot better at. I've noticed such a difference when I'm consistent. The way you start your mornings, which I've been preaching about a lot lately, as you've probably noticed in some recent vlogs, along with your habits, how you take care of yourself, it all makes a big difference. Your life isn't just made up by like big moments, it's also in your everyday routines. So when those feel good, meaningful, and intentional, everything else starts to feel more manageable too. Moving into number 4, confidence is built, not something you're born with. I used to think that confident people just had it. Like, they woke up one day and they just knew they were confident. But when you really think about it, confidence comes from doing things that make you uncomfortable, showing up when you're nervous or anxious, and keeping promises to yourself. Every time you do something that you thought you couldn't do, you build a little bit more trust in yourself. And that, my friends, is where real confidence comes from. And now let's move on to number 5. We're halfway through the list. Money habits matter more than how much you make. And this one was a big one for me. You can make really good money and still feel broke. And I mean, in this economy right now, honey, I've made the most money I've ever made in my entire life, and I still feel like I make $16 an hour. It's absolutely insane, but that's besides the point. The fact of the matter is, you can make good money and still feel broke if you're not intentional with it. Learning how to budget, save, and just being more mindful with your spending habits, it makes such a difference in your stress levels and your future. And it's not about being perfect, but it is about being aware and making better choices over time. Because I know, like, in your 20s, especially once you turn 21, it's like, oh my god, I'm of legal age, I can go out to the bar or the clubs or wherever. But it's like, be more intentional. Think about your future. Don't just live in the moment. So now let's talk about number 6. You can love people and still set boundaries. I think a lot of us, including myself, we have just always associated setting boundaries with being harsh and pushing people away, when that's not the case at all. Setting boundaries is actually a form of respect for yourself and for your relationships. You can love someone deeply and still say, this is not working for me, or I need space. And the right people will respect you. Moving on to number 7, and I feel like I have spoken on this one quite a lot in the most recent times of me uploading, but comparison will rob you of your joy, especially with social media, okay? It's so easy to feel like you're behind or not doing enough, but everyone is on a completely different timeline with different circumstances and different goals, and that's okay. And honestly, when we compare ourselves to other people online, it's usually you comparing your real life to someone else's highlight reel, the things that they want you to see. They're not going to show the ugly parts. They're only going to show what makes them happy and what they know people will enjoy to see. So the more you focus on your own life and what makes you happy, the more happier you will be. And I think number 8 follows up really well. Your dream life is the small everyday moments. I used to think that my dream life was all the big milestones, all the big achievements, all the big moments. And obviously those things are amazing, but real life is all the in-between moments. It's your morning coffee, your home, your kids, your routines, your quiet moments. And when you start appreciating those things, life feels a lot more full. Alright girlies, we're getting down to it. Number 9, it's okay to outgrow old versions of yourself. You are not supposed to stay the same person forever. You're growing up, you've gone through life changes, different events have taken place in your life, different people have moved in and out of your life. You are going to evolve, and you rightfully should be evolving. Your style might change, your mindset might change, your goals, the way you view the world, all those things might change, and that is okay because that is growth. Never feel guilty for evolving. You are allowed to become a completely different version of yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. Last but not least on my list, coming in at number 10, nobody really has it all figured out. And this one I think is very comforting when you really let it sink in. Even the people who look like they've got everything figured out, behind the scenes, they're still trying to figure things out. Everyone is doing the best that they can with what they know. So this is a reminder to give yourself some grace. You're not behind. You're just living your life. So yeah, girlies, these are some of the biggest things that I've learned in my 20s. I'm sure there is plenty more that I could share. So if you are interested in hearing some more things that I've learned in my 20s, I am more than happy to share that with you. Let me tell you, there's no guide on how to navigate your 20s, and honestly, if I had someone willing to share some of the things that they've learned while I was in my 20s, I think it would have been helpful. It would have been a lot more comforting and a lot more reassuring that, you know, things are gonna get better. If you're in your 20s right now, I want you to know that you are not alone in feeling confused or overwhelmed. It is all a part of the process, unfortunately. And with that being said, this is it for the video. If you did enjoy it, please give it a big thumbs up. And of course, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you are the first notified whenever I upload a brand new video. And while this is it for the video, I will catch you in the next upload. But until then, bye!